Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video we're going to be looking at a Leetcode problem 2838 weighted word mapping. You are given an array of string words where each string represents a word containing a lowercase English letters. You're also given an integer array rate of length 26 where weights of I represent the weight of the ith lowercase English letter, and the weight of a word is defined as the sum of the weight of its characters. For each word, take its weight modulo 26 and map the result to a lowercase English letter using a reverse alphabetical order. 0 resembles Z, Y resembles Y, 1 resembles Y, and so on. And you can see here 25 resembles A. Return a string formed by concatenating the mapped characters of all the words in order. Alright, so what you need to first look from the question is, you can see here that you're given an array of strings. Okay, so basically your input is going to have strings, an array of strings. And each string is going to represent a word containing a lowercase English letter. So you should remember that every single word is going to contain a lowercase English letter. You're also given an integer array of weights of length 26. So you see how you have been given a weight 26, where the weight of I represents the weight of the ith lowercase English letter. So for example, let's say A, and the weight of I would represent the weight. So A has a weight of 5 here, B has a weight of 3 over here, and C has a weight of 12, and D has a weight of 13. Now D again, you can see it has a weight of 14, E has a weight of 1, F has a weight of 2. Coming on to X, Y, Z, X has a weight of 7, and Y has a weight of 7, and Z has a weight of 2. And I'll tell you guys further. Now you have to know that the weight of a word is defined as the sum of the weights of its characters. For each word, you're going to take the weight modulo 26 and we're going to map the result to a lowercase English letter. Now you can see over here the weight of a word. The weight of a word is defined as the sum of the weights of its characters. This means that, for example, if you want to find the weight of this word, what you would do is simply add them all together. Add all of the weights together. So 5, 3, 12, and 13. So you simply add them all together. That would be 34, right? So 34 is your weight of this word. The same thing you would do for D, E, F, and X, Y, Z. Now for each word, you will take its weight modulo 26 and map the result to the lowercase. That simply means that you need to take a modulo 26. So 34 and modulo 26, you would get a value. And that value you should tell which character resembles and then put that on down. Right? So it's as simple as that. The only logic that you might need to consider is how you're going to find out. How you're going to find out after you found out the modulo. Basically, you take the sum. For example, over here we have 34 modulus 26. That would be 8. 8. So 8 maps to R. 8 maps to R. So 8 maps to R, and you need to know how you can find that out. Okay, that's the entire logic. You just need to know that. So for now, I'll just write the code that would be required to take the sum of the weights and then take a modulo 26. First we'll do that, and let's build on further. So we're gonna go for the first thing that we need to do is take each word out of this words array. Right? So out of this words array, I'm going to be picking out each word. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to initialize a variable called a sum. This sum is going to say me the total weight of the word. Now, we need to try to visit every single character inside of this word. So for example, let's say, now the word is equal to A, B, C, D. Now I want to visit each character, so I exactly can take the weight of them from the weights array. So A, B is equal to. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each of these characters one by one. To do that, I'm going to have for character, a variable for that. Now word dot to character array. So I'm going to convert these to a character array. And once you do this, what will happen over here is, for example, let's say the word is A, B, C, D. It will be converted to an array, each consisting of a character. So it's simply just go through them. That's it. You just go through them one by one. Now what you need to do is very simple. You just need to go ahead and add them all together. Sum plus equal to. I'm just going to go ahead and add the weights. Now, the thing is, you know the character. You need to take an index out of it. How would you do that? So let's say the character is A. For character A, you need to have an index of 0. And if you simply derive that using this one, using the ASCII code, we say, so that simply means, for example, let's say the character is A. The A's ASCII code is 97. Right? So 97 minus 97 will give you an index 0. The same thing, let's go for B. The B ASCII code is 98 minus 97. I would get 1, which is the index of B. So I would get the weight of I. So let's say A, the weight of 0 is 5, so on. So it gets added up one by one, finally finding out the sum of this entire bird. Now once I found out the entire bird, now it's time to think for the logic, where you would go ahead and take a modulo 26 and then map it to the reverse of your words. Alright, so let's just go ahead and take a mod. Int mod equals to sum more or less 26. Alright, so once you do this, you would get a modulus and you have to map it. Now how would you map it? Whatever mod you get, let's say you get a mod value of 0, you should be having z. Right? So simple, what we're going to do is we're going to do a reverse mapping. To do this, of course, we will be using the ASCII concept to get to the code. The first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to have a character because we need a character over here. And let's have the name to be mapker. Simple. Map a character. Mapker. Now over here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and take the mod. And if I say the mod is 0, I need to get the z character, right? So if the mod is 0, I need to get the z character. Simple. Now we all know for one thing. Let me clarify that one. How to do that. So what is the ASCII value of z? So ASCII value for z. Okay, it's 122. Okay, it's 122. That is 122. 122 is ASCII character of z. How would you map it to 0? When you get something like a mod value, let's say a mod is 0, how would you map it? Let me get the value for y. the y value would be 121. Right, very simple. So the first thing that you would do, take the character of z as you took the character of a. Character minus a would give you the right index that you want to access, right? So over here, z minus mod would do the same thing. For example, the z ASCII is 122. 122 minus 0 would give you 122. And for the ASCII character of y, which is 121, modulus of 1, 122 minus 1 would give you 121, the ASCII value of this. Now, just getting an ASCII value isn't enough. You would need to explicitly convert it into a character. So I'm using a card z minus mode to get it. Right? Same thing goes for, let's say, x. If you want to get x, it's very simple. Just need to go ahead and do 122 minus 2. You would get 120, which is the ASCII character of z, x. Right? So once you get it, now that you need to do is very simple. You need to be doing it for every single word and then combining all the characters that you will be getting at the end. So to do this, I'm going to be doing a string builder. A string builder. Now this string builder is going to store the character that you got here. So it's going to be saying ans.append map character. Ans is nothing but answer. So you'll be repeating this process until you do this for all the birds in the array. And once you do this, not sure you're returning it as a string, not as a string builder. So that will be return ans.to string. So over here, I would like to give an example over here. So we got here this one. So for sum is 0, we take one word from this one, we convert it into a character array, and we add each value together. So let's say A, B, C, D would give you a sum of 34. Now, 34 modulus 26 would give you a value of 8. And the value of 8, 122 minus 8. 122 minus 8 ASCII value for which character? The ASCII value would be 113. 113 is the ASCII value for R. This R character would be stored in this variable, which is mapchar, and then will be appended it to this ans. So ans will have all character stored in them. Now the array will go to the next letter, which is DEF, and it'll take the sum of DEF and then take the modulus of 26 and then find out the character that it's reverse mapping it to. Z minus the mod would give you I, and I would be stored again here, then will be appended back G, and then you convert that to a string and then return the answer.